All right, you guys. Hello. This is Jackie.
Hello.
I'm just gonna tell you really quick. Jackie was a random ad for me. I don't even know, like 4 years ago, and we were Facebook
Yeah.
friends for like 2 years before she even like asked about trying the products. And now here we are, and she's running for 12K. Like you just never know. This is why we say it's so important to add people every day. But Jackie, if you just want to share like when you first started Thrive and kind of your story about how, you tried it and then waited another, I don't even know how long it was, 9 months or a year, and then tried it again.
Yeah.
So if you want to kind of go into that a little bit and we'll start there.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. All right. I'm going to fair warn everybody. I am feeding lunch to 3 toddlers right now. So if there's chaos and I'm walking around, it just, it is what it is. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel me. So yes, Roxy literally added me on Facebook probably 4 years ago. And I liked seeing her kids. I like watching her post. I mean, probably a year or two went by. I went to school for 6 to 7 years for my radiology degree, and I never in life planned on trying a product because I had a bad experience with it before. I was a little skeptical on it. And on top of that, I just literally had it programmed in my head that I went to school for 6 or 7 years for this. I have zero intentions on doing anything other than my degree. I'm a 9 to 5 person. I like clocking in and out. I like working in the hospital. Life changes though, for sure. Yes, life changes. And so I just never saw myself doing anything other than being like a 40-hour-a-week person. That was programmed inside of my head. So it literally wasn't until I believe I had Manny, my first baby, who is now 3. I had him, and after that, I was bouncing back. During postpartum, we all know if you guys have kids, it's a very hard time learning how to love a brand new body. And that is mostly the reason why I reached out, on top of energy, of course. So I was exhausted. I reached out and I tried it, but it was one of those things to where I came up with every excuse in the book. I would get up and I would rush to work and put my scrubs on, take my baby to the babysitter, rush to my 9 to 5 job, and literally just be like, I don't have time for this in the morning. I don't have time for it. I came up with every excuse possible. Let me put her in her high chair so I can focus here. They're all eating lunch right now. So literally, I just came up with every excuse on why I could not fit this possibly into my morning routine. I never stuck with it. I was not consistent. And Roxy was so patient and kind with me. But I mean, I remember you telling me like, girl, put it in your purse, take it to work with you, whatever. And I don't know if it was just like God's timing or whatever, but I stopped trying it. I gave up, and I continue to watch your journey and see you post and talk about this, all this energy that you had, and you had 2 babies. So it wasn't until I had my 3rd one where I tried it again and legit just fell in love with it. And life for me looked so different. I was no longer working a 9 to 5. I was no longer headed to the hospital wearing scrubs. I was in the house now with 3 babies and seriously just needing a pick me up. And because you stayed consistent in posting, if you would have given up, I never would have tried it again. But because you stayed consistent and I saw you going for runs in the morning, taking your Thrive, putting your patch on with 2 babies, I was like, wow. So my whole entire, situation changed from the first time that I tried these products to the second time that I tried these products. And I am so freaking thankful that I did, because if I would have not given it a second try and not happened to see your post that morning where I was at one of my lowest spots and needed a pick me up, and I wanted to be like you, I wanted energy. I wanted to go put my babies in a stroller and go jogging with 2 kids. You inspired me to try it again, and I'm so glad. Yes, Roxy is one of the most consistent people you will ever meet in this business. And because I saw your post that morning, I reached out, I tried it again, and I'm so freaking glad that I did, because the second round for me just, wow. I didn't come up with excuses because I wanted to change so badly that time. I didn't come up with excuses like, I can't fit this into my routine, I'm too busy, whatever. I did it. And because I stuck with it, I had a totally different experience my second time, and I have never felt so good. And then literally turn it into a business.
Well, yeah. And I really want to touch on the fact that like, you never know who's watching. What if I didn't make that post that one day that just like hit Jackie and she saw it and she was like, okay, it's time. Like, that's why it's so important, because you never know what post is going to resonate with someone, what post is just going to like hit someone in the gut that day and be like, okay, I'm going to try it. So I do want you to share a little bit too about how when you first started again and you were just like, I'm just going to take the products and, you know, if I can get my product for free, cool. And then you just kind of like started dipping deeper and deeper into promoting. So why don't you share a little bit about that?
Yes. So like I said before, I was a 9-to-5 person. It was programmed in my head. Network marketing is not for me. So I told Roxy, okay, girl, my second round of this is going so much better. I am ready to like take this daily and stick with this. And over here. After I stuck with it the second time, I was like, okay, well, I at least just want to thrive for free only. That's my goal, right? I want to thrive for free because I want to feel this good daily. I don't want to stop feeling this good. I have energy. I'm feeling like myself again. I'm seeing a little bit of weight loss postpartum wise. So, wow, I want to thrive for free. How do I do it, Roxy? But I also remember telling you, but I don't want to promote. Don't ask me. And I started thriving for free, but not only thriving for free, my mom was my like #1 first best customer. She started reaching out, talking to people. My dad started trying Thrive. My sister started trying Thrive. I had several friends reach out, like, what are you doing? What's the sticker on your arm that you're posting now? And accidentally turned this into a business. Accidentally, I got about 4 or 5 people lined up that wanted to give it a try. And I thought, that's fine. I still don't want to consistently post on my social media like this though. Well, I got my first paycheck, plus was thriving for free. And it just started happening for me. Excuse me, you guys, come here. Let him sit here, please. Kids, mom life. It just accidentally, I built a business accidentally. I did not want to promote. I did not want to do this. I just wanted to feel good, get my products for free. And that was my only goal. When I started having 4 customers, 5 customers, and having girls interested in joining my team, things changed for me. I was like, wow, I should really run with this. And I'm so glad I did. Because when I hit that 4K, you guys, I shocked myself.
So what month was it that you started? Was it October or November?
October.
And then you hit your bonus, your 4K bonus. Was it in February? I think they were dropped in January, and then I think you got it, or maybe you did get in January. I don't know. One of those 2 months. But I want to say
January or February. I can't remember.
Jackie never hit like VIP 400 or 800 or anything like that.
I didn't even run for it. No.
And then a couple months later, she hits her 4K bonus. So that's why it's so important. If like you're new and you're feeling like you didn't get your VIP bonuses, I didn't get mine either. And I'm still here 6.5 years later, driving a luxury vehicle with an auto bonus, getting a weekly paycheck. Like, you have to keep going, even if you don't hit those bonuses. But that's just something I wanted to point out, because I know a lot of people feel discouraged in the beginning if they don't hit them. So why don't you share a little bit about when Stephanie called you and you guys talked about Mexico, and then you went to Mexico. Like, why don't you share a little bit about what opened your eyes after that trip?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, after that point, I had coasted about 4 whole months in this journey thinking, okay, this just isn't something I want to promote. Kept getting my products. 4 months later, when they came out with these bonus, rank advancement bonuses, I thought, well, that sounds nice, but I just started like, there's no way this is happening for people, someone like me, right? That's what I had thought in my head. And I just kept staying consistent. I kept growing. And then I hit my 4K. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I hit my 4K. There is no way. Like, how am I going to do that again? And I went 9 months straight, 8 or 9 months straight, hitting my 4K bonus. And I was like, oh my gosh. Along that journey though, I don't remember what month it was. Steffi G, like, she called me. I remember she video called me. I know, Krista. She video called me, and I'm just like, how does she even know who I am? Like, how does she know my name? Like, I see Steph posting. She's like way up here. And it actually shocked me. And then whenever she invited me, I was thinking, like, I'm a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids. If you guys don't know my life, I live in Texas. My family is 8 hours away. His family is like 15 hours away. We have zero help down here. We have like no help. So I was thinking, I don't know why. I had something in my gut telling me, like, you're going to this. I'm not going to say no to Steffi G. Like, she just invited me to freaking Cabo. So I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm making this happen, but I'm making this happen. We flew family in from the Dominican Republic and New York to watch my babies for me, so I could take my ass on that trip. I just knew deep down in my heart that it's like, wow, this is like, people are believing in me more than I'm believing in myself. Like, let's go. Let's go. This is possible. This is doable. I see people earning an income. I see people quitting their 9-to-5 job, but you also get out what you put in. And I've definitely learned that along my journey as well.
Yes, totally. And what do you feel like when you got to Cabo and when you were like surrounded by all those people, like what lit a fire under you, or like what kind of casted that vision for you from that trip?
Just, I felt like I was at home. You never know what to expect when you meet random people on the internet and you go to another country with them. Like, in another life, that sounds creepy, but these girls are legitimately, like, they were the nicest people I had ever met. And just sitting there talking with them, we related so much on so many different things. Hang on just a second, of course. If we did this at like 9 p.m., my house would be quiet, and that's just not how it's going to be during this live. Hey, no, don't press that. Come on, get down, please.
It's all good. We all have kids. We get it.
I know, my gosh.
But I think you should share the part about you being in the airport and like they were waiting for you.
Go to the room here. Go to the room.
I want to say hi.
I'm on live with a lot of people right now. Can you please go?
And like you guys had no idea. You guys had never met in person or anything. And they're all waiting for you at the airport, ready to take off.
Yes, I'm sorry. My kids are being wild right now.
Don't apologize.
Literally,
It's
we
good.
met at the airport. I barely made that flight to Mexico. They waited for me and were like, come on. I was running to get through the gate. But seriously, just meeting them, they're just like they are on social media. And that's what I love about this business, is because we post consistently and you put your face out there. I felt like I already knew them before I met them. And then when I get there, they're just like some of the most wholesome, best people rooting for me and gave me such good advice and poured into me. And I just knew, like, I knew when we were in Mexico, like, I want to do this for other people too. I would love to give somebody a phone call and be like, hey, what are you doing next month? Do you want to come to Mexico with me? Like, I want that.
Yes,
Hey.
seriously. And like,
Manny, come lay down. I'm
I
gonna
just
let you
feel
talk
like
for a
that.
second while I get my kids.
Yes. No problem. But seriously, you guys, like Jackie, like I said, if you were just hopping on, like I added her 4 years ago, stayed consistent. She tried the products and then, you know, came back when it was her timing, tried them again. And now she's like taken off. You just never know the power of when you're adding people, and staying consistent. I'm trying to think what else. Steph, do you want to add anything?
Hey, Roxy, I wanted to add something real quick.
Go for it.
I think it's something that a lot of people hesitate adding people randomly. Can you or Jackie, one of you guys share, maybe it'll help some people understand how you went about adding her, like how you came across her, what made you, you know, get consistent and how you add generally daily. I think those are some good things to ask.
So for me, I look for people who are already on social media, like posting reels, or people who are already posting. Obviously I'm not going to friend somebody who hasn't shared anything for a week or even a few days. I want somebody who's showing up every day. Obviously, even if they're not doing a business, if they're sharing about their life or sharing something funny. But I usually go to like my friends lists, and then when I'm going through and engaging with people, I'll look and see if their friends list is public. And then I'll go click on their friends and then look at suggested friends. And then I'll just go through. And I mean, it is super time consuming, but I feel like putting in that work while I'm friend requesting takes care of like trying to unfriend people or unfollow people later in the future, because I've already kind of sifted through and like prioritized who I'm adding. And that's kind of how I found Jackie. Like I remember, I think she had Manny at the time. I don't remember, this was so long ago, or she was pregnant, and like I just had a baby and I was like, oh, she's a mom, like, and she's gonna have a boy. And then like we just started connecting because our kids were around the same age. We both had boys, eventually she had a girl, but just being able to relate to her on that level. But Jackie, do you want to add quick how you add friends? And then I'll unmute Steph here in a second.
Yes, sorry, I'm getting situated. Oh my gosh. So I go through and I add a ton of women that are moms with multiple kids. One thing that I've really been focusing on lately is jumping into groups, and not even meeting friends based on Thrive, but just starting to build connections, but just adding people that you can actually relate with. Add people that you could see yourself going on vacation with, that you could go grab a coffee and sit and talk with them for hours. Like, if you're adding people where you have nothing in common and you guys just don't think alike, it's very hard to see that turning into somebody that's just going to be a lifelong business partner. And for me, a lot of the people that I have on my team that I click with so well, they live my life. Like, they understand this. Roxy, you understand this. Like, I got boys fighting in the background. I got a baby knocking their plate over in the floor, and I'm trying to stay composed. Like, you get this right now. You understand me. And me adding women on Facebook like that, and we just click and we talk about whatever with each other, talk about mom life, talk about what we're feeding our toddlers this week. That is the people that I find myself growing with more.
Because it's so easy to add people and be friends with people and have conversations and get through that like know, like, and trust factor when you're just having a conversation about stuff that you guys are both relating to. Like, it makes it so much easier. Like with Jackie, we always kind of related because of our kids, and and then she became a stay-at-home mom, and we just had more and more in common. But that's why it was always easy for us to have conversations about anything. And I mean, we talked about other stuff way before Thrive.
Yes.
But it just makes that know, like, and trust factor built so much faster. Yeah. People that you would actually hang out with. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of the roadblocks you've had and like how you've navigated getting through those.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I think we all go through this. Anybody in this industry, especially like me jumping in and not really ever doing something like this before. And I wasn't even on social media a whole I would say, like, I would post my kids and stuff like that, but I wasn't in my stories every day. I wasn't like putting my face out there doing videos talking. I think for me, the biggest roadblock that I ran into was seriously just a mental game. Like, am I good enough for this? You look at your first story and it has 230 views. And then the next story on your page, those little details that we pay attention to, it has 60 views. So it's like, wow, 150 people left my story after my first video. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not good enough for this. And when I got out of that mind frame, wow, it does not matter if 150 people left that conversation. The ones that are viewing, those are my people. Those are the people that are going to join me in this. Those are the people that their lives are going to change when they start taking this product. And I know that. That was the biggest roadblock for me, though, was getting out of my own head. Stop worrying about who's judging me, who's thinking what was in my background, or like, how dirty is my kitchen? Like, stop worrying about that stuff. You are good enough. You are made for this. But it is not something where you sign up and you're just going to like explode. Like, you have to be okay with getting so many no's before you get that one yes that can change your entire business. And this is something that I actually thought about that I want to throw in here while my house is somewhat quiet, is I follow this girl on Facebook who happens to sell products just, it's very similar to ours. She sells energy products, but she's with a different network marketing company. Aaliyah, it's your turn now. I want to say this because I watch her story every single morning, and she has a cute little boy that she posts with, just talking about her energy products. I literally wake up and I just was watching her story every single day, listening to her journey, watching her baby. I felt like I was in her kitchen with her. Hang on. Okay, I felt like I was in her kitchen with her. And then literally a day went by, 2 days went by, 3 days went by. I did not see her face. And it didn't click until about the third day. And I was thinking, where is her stories? Like, I actually watch her every day, and she's with a different company, but like, I enjoy watching her life. And I had messaged her and I was like, hey girl, I haven't seen you in a few days. I'm just checking, like, are you okay? And she said, yeah, we're just moving houses right now, and I have a lot going on, so I'm not going to be posting for the next week or whatever. In my head, you guys, I'm thinking, it clicked for me. There are people out there that are literally watching your stories every morning. And it's crazy because in my head, I was thinking, girl, if you're moving houses and you sell energy products, that's not a good time to come up with an excuse that you're busy and can't post. That is every reason to post. Post that you've boxed 50 boxes and you're packing your van and you still feel good. You still have energy. That's what I was thinking in the back of my head. But I was just thinking, okay, it clicked for me, and it actually helped me because there are people that are viewing your stuff. Believe in yourself, because while you're giving up on yourself and your business because of some people that said no to you and some people that left your stories and are not watching or liking your post, there are people that are believing in you out there. And those are the people that are going to change your business. It just might be your next 4K or 12K on your team.
Yes, totally. And what do you do for self-development, or what do you do to kind of like make sure that you're in the right mindset at the beginning of the day?
So something that I've been doing lately that is extremely hard to stay consistent with, especially when you have kids, but it's so helpful. I wake my butt up in the morning. Like, with this business, I have realized you get out what you put in. And if you wake up and, like me, before I was doing happy birthdays, I was maybe making one post, and I would like post some pictures or some little boomerangs in my video. I wasn't seeing a huge amount of growth. When I wake my butt up, you guys, I'm very busy. My kids wake me up normally around 7 a.m. I started waking up at 5:30 in the morning to run my business. Whether that's batch content, whether that's flip through stories, put some comments on some girls' pages and stuff like that. I am seeing so much more growth by doing that than I ever was before. So I wake up early in the morning so that way I don't have this chaos going on in the background. I can find my zen. I can get myself together, know what I'm going to put on my post for the morning. I post at least once or twice to my page. I go live. I've went live probably over 10 times this month already. I engage, I'm in groups. Like I am putting every ounce of effort into this, and I'm seeing so much more back, so much more. But I wake up in the morning, self-development wise. I just give myself that hour to either literally meditate, lay in bed, scroll my phone, work out, something that's going to put me in a good mental headspace for the day, so I don't get burnt out doing this.
Yes, it's seriously so important too. Like, I do something very similar. I wake up super early before my kids get up so that I can do some of my IPAs, so that I can meditate, so I can journal, do whatever I need to do to try to set myself up for a better day. But yeah, so Steph, are you available? Were you still able to say something if I unmute you quick?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
What up, homies? First off, great job on the Zoom already. Like, I'm proud of you ladies. I want to quick show you guys this freaking amazing, incredible view. We are in Lake Tahoe right now. And the reason why I'm going to quick show you guys all of this is because never in a million years did I ever freaking think one of my best friends would call me, Sonia here, and say, hey, let's just go to Lake Tahoe. We just booked a trip and just came up here. Like, imagine being able to do those things. I just want to backtrack real quick about what you guys were talking about how and why it's so important to add people on Facebook, because, you know, Roxy, that's how you found Jackie. That's how I found my California team. That's how I found Melissa Toomey and her team, is literally by random ads. Some people don't feel comfortable with it, but again, step out of that comfort zone and try it. If you feel like you have not, you know, you're not getting any interaction, or if you feel like you're like in a funk or like in the dead spot, you're getting all these no's. First off, no's are freaking amazing. They are great, but switch something up and try something different. The one thing about Jackie when she came onto that trip is I feel like it opened up a vision for her. Like, clearly what she just said, hey, I want to be able to do that to my team one day. And she is going to be able to do that to her team one day. It is so important to get to all of these lifestyle getaways, you guys. First off, you can win free airfare. They pay for your stay. Why freaking not? Do you know that the conversations that you can have with sidelines, with uplines, with downlines, just get together and brainstorm? I am so freaking excited for Vegas because there are so many people that I've never even met that I've been doing Zooms with this last 2 weeks. Sideline sisters as well. I'm like, all right, when we get to Vegas, I want to spend some time with you and pick your brain. They're like, let's go for it. You know, people that you come and meet that you may never even know what rank they are, they're going to inspire the shit out of you. Take all of the ideas and utilize it. Everybody could be hopping on Zooms. Don't show up just to show up. Use the things people are saying and the ideas. You know, and envision yourself. Like, what do you really want with this business? Because it can freaking happen. It can absolutely happen. I mean,
and I also want to add something, and this is something that, like, waking up every single morning, and something that me and Steph did from the moment we started thriving, is being the one. You know, if you really think about being the one that's pitching the vision, being the one that's, you know, sending out mini experiences, being the one that's doing more 3 ways than anyone else around you, being the one that is going to change the path in your family if you're a stay-at-home mom, being the one that's going to bring that new car into your driveway to relieve the stress, like for your husband. You know, really pep talking yourself and not waiting for someone else to do it, but being the one that is doing it. I think pitching the vision for others. I mean, this is 7 years. We're going to be celebrating our anniversary.
October.
And, you know, I invited Steph over to my very first condo with my daughter, and she was in tears. Like, I have no idea what you're doing to me. I have no idea what this is. And I'm like, just believe, this is it. This is like going to be our home, but we have to be the one out there going to every single lifestyle getaway, pitching the vision, being together, showing the possibilities of what's possible is going to make others believe. But you, at the end of the day, have to be that one. You can't wait for your upline or the neighbor friend to try your mini. You have to continuously, all throughout the day, pep talk yourself, you know, like, start your morning and be like, I am going to be the one today that does all of everything that I want to do for my business is all on you. And you are the one. You have, God gave you every bit of mixture, the free opportunity, the business, the people that have done it, people that have climbed the mountain, people that have gone through the sacrifices, but you have to be willing to be that one that does that too, to pitch the visions for your team, popping on live, sharing those testimonies all across the board, you know, relying on you versus anyone else, right? So I just wanted to kind of add that in there because I really firmly and strongly believe in that. And here we are, like 7 years later, like, when you say visions come true and like catch, you know, I tell this to staff, I have gratitude I'm like, we can hop on a plane on a Monday morning. People would dream to sit in a plane seat that have never been on a plane. I don't forget all of those small things. And thank you, Thrive, all because we needed better days. 3 simple steps, right? So be the one, you know, cast the vision for people, you know, constantly and always telling other people you can do this. You know, believing in others is a big deal. Steph, as you know, is like the queen at believing, let's go, come on this trip, we got this, right? But what if she didn't? So I just kind of wanted to add that in there. We're going to have a really good day here. I was like, we need to go back to that restaurant and bring all of these ladies and waitresses thrive tonight. And we are, because there's like power in our energy together. She's brunette, I'm blonde. We're totally opposite in our personalities, but it works.
Frick yeah, daddy.
Yeah.
Frick yeah, daddy. And seriously, the thing is that, you know, if you're feeling like, I've seen a lot of people like, since like the middle of July, I feel like I'm in a funk. Like I'm not. Well, what are things that you are doing to get to that I am? Are you posting every day about how you feel? Are you posting about the opportunity? Are you in your stories? If you don't post for 2 weeks, people are not going to remember that you're still part of something. You're part of these products. You're part of the opportunity. So consistency is freaking beyond huge. I used to hate that word until I realized, well, shit, it freaking works. That's all that it takes. You stop being consistent. I just want to squeeze you. You stop being consistent and it's not going to work. But if you stay consistent and you show up every single day, like Jackie said, people are watching your freaking stories. Never rely on your team. Ever. You be your own freaking rock star. You want your paychecks to go up, you go out and you go and roll. Get people on Thrive. It's literally as simple as that. Anything else you want me to say, Roxy? I've got all freaking day.
I mean, I could listen to you all day. You just fire me up. There's so many times where I message Steph and I'm like, hey, I'm having a bad day. I need a pep talk. Give it to me.
Yep. I'm
And
like,
then I
pull your
feel
head
so
out of
much
your
better.
ass. Let's go. Yeah.
But here's another
Roxy,
thing
one
too.
thing is, go ahead. Sorry.
Here's another thing too that's super important. As I'm looking at my vision board, something that was on there the second that Steph announced a retreat at Maria's Ranch, I wrote on there, I am earning and attending Steph's retreat at Maria's Ranch. And I did. So like, and there's so many other little things on my vision board. So not only like thinking about it throughout the day, but like you guys need to put up an actual vision board or something in your phone, something that you can see visually every day, because like that retreat changed so much for me. Like I'm sure the Mexico trip did for you. So that's something else I wanted to add, is having a vision board. I didn't really have any more questions for you besides like, what would be your biggest advice for people who kind of feel like they're in a funk, or like, how do you kind of get that fire back when you're having a down day? Jackie.
So literally, I think I actually heard this. I'm stealing this from Steffi G, because she said this on a live one time on our page. Do what you have to do. Like throw your freaking phone out the window and, you know, act like, you know, take a few hours, get yourself together, remember why you started. Don't even think about Thrive. But you cannot afford to just give up and take a full week off. Like, take what time you need, compose yourself, go pick up that phone and you jump back into it. Reach out to your team. Tell them that you need passion right now. Tell them you need to pick me up, that you're frustrated, you need help with something. But I think I said this in our chat the other day, and I learned this from our Thrive retreat. Nobody drowns quietly. Ask for help. Ask somebody to, you know, put that motivation back in you and help you find it again. Because we all know, like, there are people that believe in you sometimes more than you're believing in yourself. And that's just my biggest advice. Like, don't take a couple weeks off and fall off the face of the earth because you got a no and you're feeling down. Take an hour or two, get yourself together and be like, I got this. Reach out to your team. Tell them, hey, I need a motivational video. I need to hop on a Zoom. What time is our next Zoom? Like, find it. You have to find that passion and stick with it consistently. Like, I know we're all saying this word during the Zoom meeting. Consistency is absolutely key. And I promise you, if you get to a point where you're consistent, you will start making that fire on your own. You won't need anybody to hype you up. Like, hype yourself up. If you see the vision and you know what this can do for you, it doesn't matter if you don't make a paycheck for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. If you missed your bonus, you have to stick with it and stay in a positive mindset where you know that next month you're going to go grab that, and that quiet time is just your biggest building period.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like you are so good. Like you're so good at just being like, I'm going to step away from my phone for a few hours. Talk to you later. A few hours later, she's back. Like it is so important for your mental health, for your sanity, for your business to make sure that you do take that time away, but don't just give up and stop posting for 2 weeks. Take an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours and just go do something else. And then come back to your business when you're in a better mind frame, when you went outside and went for a walk or chug some water or do what you got to do. So yes, I love that. I think somebody said Star has a question. Let me see if I can try to unmute her quick.
Hey, thanks, Roxy. I typed it in, but I think it got lost. So, Jackie, I won't take up any more of your time, but I just wanted to know, what do you do when somebody does tell you like they want to thrive, but they can't afford it? You give them the option to thrive for free, but they're just not at that point where they're comfortable with doing it yet. Like, do you offer different budgets, or how exactly do you word that?
Yes. So obviously we know like that happens all the time, and you're going to get that. And at one point I probably would have been that person. Hey, I don't have an extra 200 to spend on products throughout the month. So whenever people hit me up and they say, gosh, I really love my sample, or I'm really interested in your products, but I just can't afford it, my follow-up then is, well, what's your budget? What is your budget? Because I will help you, whether it is literally just mailing you a week sample. I'll cover your shipping for you. If you would like to buy a full week, we can take some pictures, start with maybe posting a photo with that DFT on your arm, and see if you have anybody that's interested in trying this out, so we can get you thriving for free every month. But I think that's helped me out the most is whenever they say that they can't afford it, just say, well, what is your budget? Because they might in their head be thinking, oh, I cannot afford this. This is probably $200 or $300 a month. And they don't know that they can grab a bag of capsules for $60 and catch a sale and get them for $45. They might not know that. So I think that that's helped me out in so many ways, is following up with what's your budget and then just going from there. And of course, sometimes it leads into, well, yes, I feel you on that. Like, I definitely understand that. Sometimes they're a single mom or something like that. And I just let them know, girl, I used to be in a spot like that, but let me know if you're ever interested in the promoting side of things, and we can go grab you a bonus in your first 2 weeks just to kickstart your business. If they're still not interested, obviously after we've exhausted our resources on finding their budget, if they're interested in promoting, not interested, then I think it's very important just to stay consistent. Because if Roxy would have given up on me, unfriended me on Facebook, whatever, I never would have seen her post that morning. Keep liking their pictures, keep commenting on their posts, stay consistent in that, because they are interested. Maybe the timing just isn't right. And if you give up on that, you're not going to maybe find that next customer or next promoter or next friend that you can create a business alongside. So that's normally kind of like the steps that I use to follow up with people if they have an issue with their budget. Hey, that's enough. Here.
All right. Does anybody else have any comments or questions for Jackie?
Hey,
Or does anybody have anything? Anybody?
I do.
Seriously.
Amanda always does.
Yep.
Okay.
You go right ahead.
I can't help it. Listen, I feel weird that you guys can't see me. I can't stand that. Anyways, I love the fact that you tried it and you stopped, because that's Jackie's story as well, right? And you guys know Jackie's a rock star. She didn't hit her VIPs when she got started, and the other Jackie. I was like, oh yeah, well, that's right. I'm talking about Jackie. But I love that, when you got back and you restarted because you watched Roxy consistently posting, I think that's such a huge testimony, because there's so many people on here right now that you have people that you're like, oh, well, they fell off, or oh, they tried it, but then they quit, or they didn't want to promote, or, whatever the story may be. Jackie's story completely changed, right? Just like most of our stories, if you would have seen where I was, 7 years ago to where I was 3 years ago to where I am now, I needed this opportunity. And I never, just like you, Jackie, I never envisioned being at home, or like I envisioned being in the hospital, working, doing that, right? But then I realized that, like, I could make my kids. I think one of the big things that people need to get, and I hope they took from the Zoom, is that the importance of adding new eyes, people that you don't know, right? But also staying consistent with, if somebody has shown interest, if they have shown interest, I'm talking about free accounts from 7 years ago, to people that have sampled that totally ghosted you. Know that they might have ghosted you because they just didn't have the money at the time, or they were embarrassed, or they were busy and life was drowning them, right? And also the importance of stepping away. And one big thing I do when I am getting overwhelmed or feeling just brought down because, so many things are happening, I just want to share this. I pull up my why. I look at my vision board. I remember why I got started to begin with. And honestly, just looking at my kids is enough to remind me of why I need to get out there and share this, right? And you guys, your journey does not have to be like anybody else's, but you have to remember that you are going to attract what you are. So if you aren't consistent, people are not going to end up joining you because they want somebody that is going to help them. They want somebody that is going to guide them and be there to inspire them, to show them what that path is. So, Jackie, the one thing I do want to ask you, because you do have a busy life, you have kids and so forth, what do you say to that person that specifically, obviously, you're limited on time. You're limited on time. So that's one of the biggest things, aside from the no money, is the no time and not knowing what you're doing. So what do you give to those people? Like, what do you say to people that say they don't have the time to do this because their life is busy? You can relate, but what also do you say to those people that say they don't know anybody?
Yes. I get that all the time, that, like, this isn't for them. They don't know me. Hey, be nice. Be nice. That they don't know anybody. And I remind them, girl, I started my Facebook with 300 people on a private Facebook account. 300 people. I pretty much have a mom and dad and sister. I don't have this huge extended family, so it's not going to come there. I'm really just a homebody with kids. I go to work and come home. I don't have that many friends that I touch belly to belly with. I'm not out in public unless it's literally work or home. And I just remind them, like, I started from a very private, quiet Facebook, and I don't really have much family either. But if they're willing to stay consistent with something, I will help them. And I remind them that I will literally help you and give you every tool you need to grow. Everybody starts from somewhere. You do not have to have all this time on your hands. Do you have a free 30 minutes in the morning to make a post? Exactly. We'll all start at zero. All of us start at zero. You don't have to have this huge following and have 20 people lined up. But I just remind them, if you're willing to start, it can grow into something. It can absolutely grow into something. You just have to be willing to do it daily.
Yes. And honestly, like, I feel like I hear that a lot too. And I feel like you told me that too, even that, like, yeah, I don't have time for this business. And like, I'm not interested. I feel like you even told me that. And sometimes people are just saying that because they don't think that they can do it. Not everybody realizes how simple these products are and how simple this business is. Most people are already on social media anyways. So that's what I try to reassure them is, so do you spend like 30 minutes to an hour scrolling Facebook or Instagram or Reels or TikToks or whatever? Mm-hmm. And usually people are like, yeah. And I'm like, we just redirect that time on social media into something a little more productive, and you can make a business out of this.
Yes.
That's kind of where I usually go with that too. Yeah, does anybody else have anything they want to add or any questions? I cross post daily. Yes. And reusing content and just putting it over to Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I do that too. Anybody? Anything else you want to say? Oh, Chas. Hang on.
Hey y'all, this is so good. I just wanted to reiterate what I put in the chat. Like, Roxy, you are like the queen consistent, and I just love it. And gosh, I've just loved this. This has been a great Zoom. One of the things that I want to and y'all may have touched on it. My signal is going in and out, but the little, I don't know what they're called, but it's on our story or like our chat where you can put like the little comment thing, you know. Oh my gosh, y'all. I've been putting little fun things like, okay, tell me how you slept last night. You know, how was your day? What would make your day better? And it's so crazy. Like I had, which I'm gonna have to figure out how to better sample my gummies, because I had people like just sharing their whole life of why they're not sleeping good, what's going on in their life, just by that little message thing that pops up. And I know for me, I was like writing a whole book, like, tell me what would make your day better, blah, blah, blah. And it would just kind of wrap around just a small little, how did you rest last night? You can see that when you're going in. So utilize that tool because it's an intimate thing. It's like having that intimate conversation. And I've noticed the people that are interacting with that, I'm seeing their stuff in my post. So again, it's just linking all of that with the algorithms and everything of like, hey, y'all are having conversations, and it's people that, you know, usually weren't having a conversation with me. So yeah. So when I first figured out that was a thing, I didn't even know. I think I sent Amanda, I'm like, how did you make that little thing on yours? She's like, you just go here and here. And literally I posted, tell me how you slept last night or whatever. Yes. Amber said you did that. Yes. And so, but just use those tools that are available, the simple things, and ask people those questions because they want to talk about themselves. So anyway, I just want to interject that.
Yes. And another thing too is like, if you see somebody like Chassa, Amanda, if you see somebody do something like that, don't be afraid to message them and be like, hey, how'd you do that? I do that to people all the time. That's how we learn. And I think it's important to not be afraid to just message whoever and say, hey, how'd you do that? I want to know how to do that. All right. Anybody else? Jackie, anything else you want to say?
Let me unmute myself here. Sorry for all the chaos. I just want to say that anybody that's like stuck in a rut right now, or you feel like what you're doing doesn't matter, just remember that it does. People are watching you. Don't pay attention to those small little things like your views went down, or don't pay attention to, dang, she unfriended me, or don't listen to any of that, because those are just not your people. Those are not your people. Mm-hmm. Stick with it. Do not give up on yourself, because there are times where you're giving up on yourself and people are looking at you. Just find your fire and run with it. And just know deep down that if things are quiet, that means something very, very big is about to happen. But if you stop posting and you stop believing and seeing that vision, you're not going to reach it. You're not going to get there. And you might just give up right before it happens, and it would have happened for you. Just stay consistent, stay positive. And like I said earlier, like take a break if you need to, but don't take the day off. You get your butt back up and you go do it. Like, work your business, girl, because there are so many people that are rooting for you. And imagine 2-3 years from now, how big this could be. How big it could be, how many more people how many more lives that you could help change. Somebody on your team might actually quit their 9-to-5 job and start staying home doing this because you did not give up. You helped them get there. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just don't take to heart the no's. The no's just either mean not right now or it's not meant to be. And I think that it's a game changer when you start seeing the positivity and believing in yourself more than anybody else is.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like we all know that Lavelle is always doing something and giving us something. And I feel like being in here 6.5 years, I feel like this is the season where they start to like really throw us some big stuff. So don't be that person that's going to miss out in 2-3 months when we get something because you weren't consistent. Like be consistent now, even if it feels like nothing's happening, because I promise you something amazing is about to happen. So Amanda, I don't know if you want to stop the recording, but I think we will probably just end it here.
Yep, I'll stop the recording. I'll get it posted up here shortly for everybody because this was an outstanding call. You guys rocked it, and thank you so much. I think it really gave a huge insight to a lot of people of realizing that the people that are the rock stars, they haven't yet met them yet. And you have to get out there and you have to talk and find your people. And you guys, this is the time when you are literally like the last quarter of the year is honestly one of the most important quarters because it's preparing you for that momentum going into the end of the year. The people that work now, they're going to explode their businesses. So keep your head down and know that you're no different than anybody else that's been on this call today, that if you stay the course, you will get there. So thank you
100%.
so much.
Thank you, Jackie. You're amazing.
Thank you, Roxy.
Happy payday, everyone.
Yes. Happy Tuesday.
All right. Bye.
Bye.